Hi, my name is Josiane. I'm here with Silent Podcast, where we're anything but silent. Today I'm with the winner, representing our ends, okay?
Yes,
Ty, how are you?
Yeah, I'm feeling great. It's a surreal moment, but I'm proud to be here and I'm happy to be talking to you, Josie.
Okay. I have to fill you in on some news first.
What's up? Give me the tea.
So, we're from the same area, so you'll understand this reference, but congratulations on being featured on Six Buzz.
Come on, man. You know what time it is. I'm on the buzz, baby. Six Buzz.
Six Buzz. Yes, you and Hope, you guys got a feature. So I had to let you know. I had to put you on the tee and,
I'm looking forward to seeing that.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's talk a little bit about your game, okay?
Okay, do it.
So, obviously, you come on the season, the boys start clicking.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm gonna be honest. I thought the boys were gonna run it.
Yeah.
I'm not really into the boys running the show personally, but that's what it looked like. But obviously there's a shift, and we kind of saw the divide between you and Zach and the rest of them. What do you think created that?
I think me and Zach right off the bat clicked, and we agreed on a final two together. So that was going to be my guy no matter what happened with the guys. We obviously wanted to work with the guys because we knew we were targets, and we thought we were better if we stuck together. However, there was a bit of insecurities and anxiousness between Zach and another player, my guy Rob, and Zach being my final two and my priority. Once Zach felt like Rob was going to be a problem, well, then Rob has to go, and that I think was the beginning of the downfall of the guys, where we had to take one out and obviously created distrust within all of us. So unfortunately, it was just a game move we had to make. We felt we needed to make at the moment, and we made it. It caused obviously a huge ripple effect and left the girls running the house for a bit, but Ty held it down, and he's still here. So
Okay, Ty held it down. Now, speaking of the guys, right? So we have Rob leave, and then there's this weird dynamic, right? And then it obviously evolves to the letter, which we have to talk about. Run me through when you found out about the letter, what happened, why didn't you immediately go? Because that was a big question a lot of people asked. Even Kuzi asked, why did you withhold it until then? Did you have a reason for that?
So I withheld that information because when Hope had shown me the letter, we had agreed previously that if he wanted to self-evict or if he wanted to leave, that we would plan it accordingly so that we didn't put the guys in a position where we were being ran by the girls. So we had to be strategic about it. I said, listen, man, if you don't want to be here, that's fine, but let's figure out a way to get you out of the game without damaging our game in here. So when he showed me the letter on the day of the POV where we'd be playing, I said, okay, perfect. This is an opportunity where I can throw Hope a comp because he hadn't won to that point. I said, I'm going to give my boy a win. And on top of that, there was $5,000 associated with that win. So I said, perfect. I can give this guy some money. I can give him a win. He can leave, and then I can still save Santina and hopefully take her in as a number, losing Hope. However, it didn't play out that way. He decided to use the veto on himself and keep himself in the game, and then knowing Zach would be the person to take the hit. And like I said, Zach is my right-hand guy at that time. So I took that personal. There was a misunderstanding, and obviously Hope and I spoke about it afterwards, and he explained why he made that move, and I understood, but I just wish he would have explained that to me before the whole ordeal went down so that we could figure out how to keep him safe if he wanted to stay in the game, and we could also keep Zach safe. But we ended up getting back on the same page much later in the game, and I appreciate that, and Hope's still my boy, and I hope that Zach and Hope can get back on the same page eventually.
Okay, so the letter gate happened, and there was this moment where we thought, will he, won't he quit? What can you say that made that change for you? What made you want to stay?
So, me being the loyal guy that I am, like I said, if my right-hand guy was taken out due to an unfortunate and just a bad situation that wasn't in his control, then I was like, do I really want to be here? Do I want to keep pushing through this game that I felt lost its integrity? However, we did receive letters from home because of the letter gate, and it was from my mom, and obviously my mom is my number one fan. That's my heart and soul. So I read through her letter to see if I could find an answer in there that should tell me if I should leave or if I should stay. And one of the first lines she said to me was that it is one of the greatest joys to watch me on Big Brother Canada. So I'm like, I got to stay on the show because my mom enjoys seeing her son on TV. So that's what kept me here, is my mom.
Speaking of your mom, I was sitting kind of close to your mom, and I saw her cry during your final speech. What does it mean for you to speak in front of her and, kind of make her proud because you ended up winning, okay?
Yeah. I think that's been my mission my entire life, is just to make my mom proud. Like, she had me when she was 17 years old, so I know that in itself is a huge struggle, and she sacrificed a lot of her life to being a mother to me. So it's always been important to me to make sure that she knows that she didn't make a mistake, and she did the best she could. And look at her son, he's the winner on a reality TV show, so she did something right, apparently, right? So I just wanted to make her proud, and I love seeing her smile, I love seeing her happy, and with the money now, I'm able to help her in ways that I wouldn't have been able to beforehand.
Yeah, honestly, your story about the single mom really resonated with me because I grew up majority of my life with a single mom. So you definitely repped us well, and you did us well. Yeah, you did us proud. Now, let's talk a little bit about your alliance maneuvering involving, right? So initially we see the guys, right?
Yeah.
But then you kind of pull Santina in with her HOH. What happened between y'all two? Because y'all were thick as thieves in the beginning, and then we go from calling her out for being invisible HOH, which she was, so you were correct. Yeah.
Actually, yeah. I would say, honestly, I viewed Santina as one of the boys at the beginning, and she was somebody who I definitely wanted to play the game with. I knew that she could be a competitive threat, which is awesome to me. I wanted competitors in the house. I didn't want to be the only comp beast in the house. However, I think, again, it goes back to her situation with Zach. I think a lot of people have distrust with Zach, and it was always me trying to, keep the situation under wraps. And that was the same situation with Santina, where she wasn't trusting Zach, she wasn't liking Zach, and she wasn't trying to play the game with Zach anymore. But I still wanted to play the game with her. So that was me trying to kind of rebuild that relationship with her over time. But we fell off because of the whole Zach situation. Both of them ended up on the block together, and I told her, listen, my hands are tied at this point. Zach is my right-hand guy, so I cannot promise that I will vote to keep you. And obviously that rubbed her the wrong way, and when she had the opportunity, she tried to take the shot at me, and that was the beginning of her downfall. You can't take a shot at time, miss, man. Come on. You know what time it is.
Well, speaking from Santina, we kind of see you work with Kuzi. We go from her saying, you're going home next, you're next, to you guys working and her giving you her Wendy's points, which was a lot. So what was the evolution with Kuzi?
Yeah, so again, me and Kuzi actually came in together with Santina and Zach. We were a big four, and that was actually a final four that I wanted to see because I thought I didn't realize till after the fact, but we were all powerhouse players in our own respective ways. Me and Kuzi always had a great personal relationship. However, her move on Zach rubbed me the wrong way, and it really made me rethink about, is Kuzi the player that I think she is? However, the respect, I think, on both sides was always there. She knew that I was a threat to her game. I knew that obviously she's a threat to my game, and I think that respect level was always there. So we did have a falling out after the Zach situation, but I think that towards the end of the game, later in the game, she started to realize that it was better to have me in the house than to have me out, because as soon as I'm gone, she would be the next one to be targeted. So it's in her best interest to work with me as much as possible. And when it came down to the final 7, where I was on the block with Hope, and I ended up pulling myself off, that was a pivotal point in the game where she knew she was going up and she was very likely going to go home. And even if she wasn't the one to go home, she would probably be next, because you know how I do with the vetoes. So if I'm on the block, I'm pulling myself off. And if I'm playing in the veto and I'm not on the block, if I need to lock you on there, I will lock you on there. So we were able to circle back towards the end. And like I said, that respect never left. We obviously didn't play the game together the entire time, but the respect was always there. And I think that's why she felt comfortable giving me her points and wanted to see me win towards the end when she was unfortunately evicted.
Once Kuzi left, we kind of saw you play the middle, which is what I think you were hitting at in terms of your social game and controlling both ends, especially with your POV clutch wins. My question is, what was going on with the three? You had several alliances at that point. You have one with Renee, Claudia, and then you have one with Daniel C and Anika. What was going on? What was going through your head?
Yeah, so up until that point, I was enemy number one of the house. Everybody from every angle was taking shots at me. There was nobody that I was safe with. Even though I had better relationships with certain people than others, everybody would have loved to see Ty go. So I knew that once I had the opportunity to change that, I took the opportunity. So I said, I'm going to play this POV, I'm going to win it, and I'm going to literally take out the middleman, which is Chanel, because she was the most protected person at that time in the house, because she was good on both sides with Daniel C. and Nika as well as Claudia and Renee. So if I could remove her, then I can insert myself here, because now both sides will need me to play for them in the POV, which, again, I made that decision, and it worked out exactly how I expected it to and how I wanted it to, because I had the entire Final 6 on lock after that point.
We can't talk about your game without talking about the POVs, okay? Yeah. So I know you know by now, but you're making history, okay? Yeah. Most competition wins. And we found out before we saw you win Part 2 HOH. So that's another notch on the best. How do you feel?
I feel great. Honestly, it's news to me. I wasn't expecting to break any records. I mean, people were telling me that I might be on pace to breaking them, but it wasn't something that I was gunning for. It was something that I was forced to do. I needed to win, you know what I mean? So the first half of the game, I was throwing comps. I threw 2 comps. I threw step right up and Britta, like I explained with the whole Lettergate situation. So those, I would have probably had 11 by now. Yeah. But nonetheless, thankfully, I still broke a record, and that's something that I was able to pull forward through. So yeah, I'm feeling good about it. I mean, that's just another notch on my belt. Another achievement to add to my resume here.
Okay, my bad, my bad. So other than that, you also made history by being in a Final Two alliance with your showmance. You guys made Final Two. That's history.
It's history.
Usually they cut it. How scared were you that she was going to cut you, potentially?
I think towards the end of the game, Claudia and I were able to build a certain level of trust where I was confident that she would bring me, and I knew that I would bring her if the roles were reversed and I had to pick my Final Two. So I was confident that, we were finally on the same page in this game because we found it very hard to get to that point. So I wasn't nervous, but ultimately speaking, Daniel C. is a great talker, and he was obviously pitching to her that it would be smarter to bring him to a Final Two. And he was probably right, to be honest with you, if she was trying to win, if she really cared about the win. However, I greatly appreciate and I greatly respect the fact that Claudia was not afraid to bring me to a Final Two with her, knowing that I had a great chance of winning.
Okay, well, we kind of represent Twitter over here, okay? So I'm going to keep it a buck with you. There's some conversations about kind of the interactions you had with some of the house guests, especially particularly maybe with women. Let's set it straight. You tell me how you perceive it and how you felt, because you were living that experience and we were only watching, right? So we can only assume what we know based off what we see.
Of course. So first of all, what are the controversial stuff? I gotta address certain things. I can't just say, what do you want me to say?
I think it's more so regardless, maybe your interactions with them. Do you think it's just like the heat of the moment in the game, or what do you think it is?
Aggressive?
I mean, that's not necessarily what they're saying, but maybe just analyzing the relationships.
In this game, I don't look at female and male. I look at everybody as a player, as my opponent. So the same way I'm going to talk to a male player, or that I'm going to strategize with a male player, or I'm going to, do whatever with the male player, I'm going to treat the women the same, because I don't look at them as any less or any different. You know what I mean? Like I said, Claudia, to me, is the next best competitor in this house after me. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to deal with her the same way I want to deal with Diana, the same way I would deal with Johnny. It doesn't matter if it's a female or male to me. Obviously, I have the same level of respect for everybody. But if I don't respect you, it's not because you're a woman. It's because it's the player you are. You know what I mean? It was just gameplay at this point. And if I was aggressive with a female, I would have that same level of aggression, if not more, with a male. Mm-hmm. So I didn't treat females in any way that I wouldn't be proud of, I don't think. Obviously, in the heat of the moment, emotions get high. And I think on both sides, things might be said or certain levels of aggression, might be shown. But I respect and love every single person on this cast, on this season. Everybody is a phenomenal player, a phenomenal person, and any personal stuff that was said inside of here does not need to be taken into the outside world, and I'm sure I'm going to be friends with everybody outside of here. I'm
sure they love you because they voted for you to win, and you're here, and you guys are a family. So, exactly. I want you to enjoy this win. You deserve it. You repped us well. You made history. Congratulations again, and thank you so much for talking to us today.
I appreciate you guys so much, and I appreciate the thanks and congratulations.
Of course. It was nice talking to you. Hi, my name is Josiane, and we're here with Silent Podcast today. I'm with one of the Final Twos, Claudia. Hi, Claudia. How are you?
Hello. I am good. Thank you.
I'm so excited to talk about your journey in this game. I want to start off. Do you consider yourself a super fan in the beginning, or where was your stance before you stood in the house?
Yeah, I wouldn't say I was a super fan. I've watched a few seasons. I've watched a few of the earlier seasons. So these more recent ones, I wasn't as knowledgeable on. It wasn't as present in my mind. I knew the game, but yeah, still had a lot to learn coming in here.
I mean, look at you now. You're in the Final Two. I want to talk about the Girls Alliance. You initially hit on the mark that the guys were working together, and you kind of saw that in the finale with the recap. And we saw the women come together. Why do you think they didn't stick together as much, and you had this side thing with the girly pops?
Yeah, I mean, so many of us women who were in this house were, it was a powerful group of women to begin with. And we all had a very similar goal of wanting to work together and wanting to see us go far. Of course, it's not always that simple, and there was, other things that went on and that made it more difficult and controversial, and, people arguing when it's not as easy as it maybe sounds. But I always had my relationship with those girly pops, and, I did stick with them until I couldn't, and I really wish it could have went further, and I wish, we could have seen two girls at the end. I wish we could have seen all of that. But you do have to adapt in this game, and I think that was what I had to do in this game, and ultimately it was why I'm standing here today.
Well, you mentioned, your HOH, so we have to get into it because a lot of us were like, why did you not put up Ty? I know you talked about it a little bit during the finale of wanting to work with him, but take us through that moment because a lot happened.
It did, yeah. Double eviction happened quick. A lot happened. Not putting Ty on the block, I think, was me trying to show him that I wanted to work with him, but how it all played out in him using the veto, not what I expected. That was a nightmare. It put me in the worst situation I've had in this game, and in the hardest decision time that I it was truly the hardest decision I had to make in this game. Did I see it playing out that way? Absolutely not. I thought he would win that. It would keep my noms the same. Maybe I was naive in that thinking, but yeah, all I can say is that was a really tough decision. I didn't see it playing out that way, and I wish it played out differently, but in that moment, I didn't put him up because I did want to give that gesture of we could work together.
Yeah, you're kind of making a sacrifice and showing here's my proof, my concrete proof.
Exactly.
I want to talk about, coming in clutch. You said it yourself in the finale, last POV, part 1 and part 3. A lot of us are asking why bring Ty to the final. I mean, please spill the tea, sis. Spill the tea.
I'm sure I'm going to get asked this so many times. Honestly, it's so hard to know. Everyone watching has a full picture of what is going on in this house, and we have a part picture. We're doing the best that we can. I truly felt like I wasn't scared to stand next to him at the end of this. I believed in the game that I played, and I knew that I held my own, and I knew that I was able to win these comps, and I believed in my social game. I believed that I played an all-around great game in here, and I wasn't afraid to sit next to him. In that moment, I wanted to stay to my word, and I wanted to take him to the end, and I'm super proud of the game he's played, but I'm proud of the game I played as well, and I
Honestly, you should be proud. You made history, first showmans to make Final 2. A lot of people tried, or they cut their people, whatever it is. But you made history.
The reason that they don't make it to the Final 2.
But honestly, you did a stellar job. I mean, what does this mean to you? You went through this experience. What is your all-encompassing thought of where you are right now?
Yeah, I mean, coming into this experience, I knew that it was going to push me in so many ways, like mentally, emotionally, physically, all of it. And I know that I've grown so much as a person, and that was truly one of the things coming in here that I wanted out of this experience. I think, like I said in my speech, a lot of people doubted me. Like, I am this, 5-foot small, girl from little PEI, and I think, a lot of people probably looked at me and overlooked me in this game. So I think I had a lot to prove, and that was something that I really wanted to do in this game, and I feel that I have done that. And I mean, I'll carry that with me, and I feel like I've made PEI proud, and I think that just means so much to me.
No, you really did. I commend you for the game you played and everything you did. What is one thing that you either regret not doing or something you wish you would change?
Oh, goodness. It's really tough because, I think everything did lead me here. I don't want to look back and regret anything that I did. Every decision has led me to this moment. Maybe take Daniel's seat at the end. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Maybe I messed up there at the end. No, I mean, I can't say I regret anything,
Let's say in a hypothetical world, Ty wins part 3 and cuts you. Would you have voted for him?
Oh my goodness, I would have been so freaking mad. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like I probably would have given him my vote. Yeah.
I can respect that. Me, on the other hand, I'm a little petty.
Yeah, I was going to say, I didn't want to be petty, but it would have been tough because I would have been so mad.
Yeah, I understand totally. Well, thank you so much for coming. I appreciate it. Congratulations again. You did a stellar job. Please keep your head up. Crown to you. You made history anyways. You're in the books, and you ate down.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a good rest of your night. Hi, my name is Josiane. I'm here with Silent Podcast, where we're anything but silent. And today I'm here with, top 3 representative super fan, Daniel C. How are you feeling?
Oh my God, I am feeling fantastic. Obviously,
keep it real.
Okay, we'll keep it real. I do feel great. The experience, super fan experience of a lifetime. So grateful. Loved every single minute of it. But also, there were some shady people in this house. Mm-hmm. And tonight, they did a disservice. They did a disservice to the greatness of what my game deserved. I'm joking.
You real?
I'm upset. No, I'm not upset. I'm happy. I'm glad. Child, I'm upset. I'm pissed. I wanted my money. I'm hearing things from the jury that, I might have won. I was about to get my cash. So I'm a little, I'm feeling the knife a little bit, but overall, feeling great, feeling good.
Okay, we talked about being a super fan. So, we're from the streets as well. We're from the org streets. Mm-hmm. Okay, let's keep it a buck. How is this transition from, playing these games online to actually being in the house?
Yeah. wild, first of all. You know, we be standing there at our computers running for our drinks, doing the little scavenger hunt, you know, running for those spoons. You know, you be trying. But, you know, there was an element of it that was so interesting that I do think I did learn from playing these orgs online. Like, just the general connecting with people. You know, you jump to these different rooms and stuff like that, but you have to connect to these people real fast. We're playing these games for 5 hours sometimes, or 3 hours, 2 hours. You have to, you know, make these relationships really quickly. And in this house, as fast as you make a relationship, those relationships are the ones that you end up playing with for 60, 70, whatever days that you're in there. So I do think I've learned a lot from those streets, but it's a lot different, child. It's torturous. Emotions are real. You don't expect that. I don't need no one in the streets. Listen, I be on those streets. I don't need none of you coming for me, okay? I cried, and that's fine. Emotions are okay, and it was a tough game.
Honestly, it was, especially like your journey. You know, we see you start in the beginning, kind of like alone. You're trying to find your footing. We saw you connect with Amal in the beginning, and then she leaves as well. So it's like, you know, and then all of a sudden you like become the social butterfly, and we see you evolve to become the social threat of the season.
Oh, you better tell him.
All right.
You better tell him.
All right. So I want to know, what was that evolution like for you? Because you really started and you weren't even sure, you know?
You know, in my life and in life in general, for, you know, a lot of people, we're used to, you know, being a certain way, and you're with your group, the way you are with your friends, it's so different because I am a big personality in my circle. I came into this house and child, the personalities were all larger than life. And I said, they really put me in this house with a bunch of these like bros, for one. Then they put me, and then there was all these little sisses. And then I got my good sis Amal. Oh, yes, here we go. We're going to get this. And then that didn't work out too soon. So I was really lost for a moment. But after a few days, and I talked to my good sister Nika, because that was one of the first quick connections I did make. And I was like, you know what? Daniel, get it together. I'm again, the fan. I know how important relationship making is, and I sat myself in that kitchen and I said, I'm gonna be in the open. I'm not gonna be hiding in these rooms by myself. I'm not gonna be seeming like I'm sneaking into rooms with people. I'm sitting in the open, just talk to everyone as a full in general. And I think I was surprised by how genuinely I played the game, because my genuine personality and the way I just am socially ended up becoming the pillar that I was able to put my strategy behind afterwards. So I just made sure I was always in the open, always connecting with everyone. And then from there, I fell into groups that had genuine relationships. And then from there, I was able to use things that I maybe possibly was going to do, or cut people I was going to cut, and then tell people I was going to cut somebody that was important to me. So I'll do that again for you. And it just kept making relationships from there. You know what I mean? So that's how I found my footing. It was just put yourself in there, pull your pants up in the morning, try not to cry, and get it together. And it suddenly, I just got back to my genuine self. You know what I mean? The panic of coming in, it's fluted way.
It's real. So speaking of groups, we have to talk about The Crown, okay? I was sitting at home doing that Crown sign all the time. Yes, God, I was. Yes, God, I was.
Let them know. The crown. Yep.
Yes.
I mean, I only got to put the crown on my head once. The rest of the time I was taking it off, but I was hopeful.
And that's real. That's real. I said, why they keep taking it off?
No, I know, child. The disservice to the royalty. That was tragic.
So what happened? Because you guys seem like a really tight-knit group. You know, the Hope, Jonathan, all of you. Especially what I perceived was 3, you, Anika, Kuzi, and then Jonathan and Hope being the other 2, but still coming together and making that alliance. Yes. What happened? Because all of a sudden you and Kuzi going at it in the room. I said, no, not my 2 faves. What's going on?
Okay, so first of all, me and Kuzi part of this game is like, we were just 2 fans truly trying to play this game. And part of the Kuzi part aside for a second, the thing that was important in my game was always having targets ahead of me.
Correct.
Unfortunately, my allies were bigger threats. So eventually those people would become targets before me, was my plan. Not that I was ever actually trying to attack them. Like, I would have never gone for Kuzi, but I did have relationships I was forming other places, and I think Kuzi did catch wind to some of those relationships, and she felt betrayed. But it also started from our perspective first, where Kuzi was also doing the same thing. And we were seeing her going into these rooms and pitching instantly when we haven't even had because besides the crown, there was the shadiest bunch, which was me, Kuzi, and Anika. So when it started coming to the point where it was going to be us three on the block, Kuzi, we did see her going into the rooms already off the bat, and I was like, ooh, child. And I was like, oh, it's not going to be me on the block. I'm going to make sure of that. But, it was never any bad blood really that was against us. I think it was just a situation we were put in, and our games were clashing, and information started coming out from some. I don't know all the tea, but people were spilling tea. I don't know what you guys saw. The tea was being spilled from, Kuzi was spilling some of the tea, throwing us a little bit under the bus. Yeah, but I was not throwing Kuzi under the bus. So I was feeling some type of way about it as well. And, I did have that first relationship with Anika that I felt, she's not throwing me under the bus. I have 100% trust in Anika, and I know that Kuzi's a big fan. And I had to end up making a decision, and that fact that I was going to be the one to make the decision, I think hurt Kuzi, and it hurt me that it was hurting her, but I knew where I had to go in my game, and that's where the battle came from. Because I don't know what you guys saw in that fight, but it was me going into the room to just be like, because we knew she was going that day or whatever, I was just trying to be like, I love you, don't go, sis. And I was like, why are you upset with me? Because I'm not the vote. There's lots of people voting tonight, and unfortunately it was just our games that I think got heated. But me and Kuzi, absolutely love her, queen, icon, legend. She is a queen. I was never trying to target her. If we could have went further in the game together, it would have been great. But it was me or her, and I was like, child, not me.
Not me. Okay. I'm in the same boat.
We are good. We're good. We'll be good. I'll talk to her again, but we are already quick.
So I want to talk a little bit more about your final era, okay? Well, the finale era, we will. Yeah. So we saw you, connect with other people, but ultimately being put up. It was either you, Anika, or both of you. Mm-hmm. So from that point on, my question to you is, in the final three, who did you really want to take?
Between Ty and Claudia? Mm-hmm. Y'all really trying to get me on this. You're trying to get me in this heat. You want me in this fire? You see, I really want to do this. I wanted Ty to take me.
Okay.
That's what I wanted, but I was not going to take that man nowhere. I said, second, no more. You was not coming with me. I would have taken Claudia in the end. I just felt like I would have had a better shot against Claudia. And at the end of the day, I was coming here for my mission and for my shot, so I would have taken it.
Now, you're a social threat, and I wanted to hear you plea. I know you a talker. What would your plea have been? We want to know.
Child, my plea. Listen, I was told. Did I tell you I was Brittany Haynes? Child, I knew I wasn't going to be on this block, so I wasn't practicing my plea. So I'm going to let you guys sit this one out.
Gee, not the Brittany Haynes.
They pulled me aside yesterday. They told me we're final two. And child, I knew my fate was sealed today. I had this jacket black. Aww. I was like, it's the funeral. It's not. But anyways, we put it back out. So I knew I was going to be the one to go. I wasn't practicing my plea too much, but my plea was heavily going to be on the fact, I was a super fan. This is my dream. I came into this game. I didn't just come into this game and fight to be in the seat for 70 days. I've been fighting for the seat for 11 years. I've watched this show. I've applied to the show season after season, and I've taken every single thing that I have gathered and got myself to this seat. I was never going to come into this game and be Kevin Jacobs level of strategist. I was not going to be the comp beast that won every competition, but if you looked up social strategist in the dictionary, my name would be there in bold. That's where my pitch was going to go, and then it was going to move on to the part I was going to call little CC out. She took me. I was going to call her out. I'll be like, she did win some competition, but if she did not win those competitions, she would have been home. And I didn't need to win one of those competitions to make it to this spot. So let me tell you, I played this game 100% genuinely myself. I love how I said I didn't have a pitch. 100% genuinely myself. I was true to my allies and monsters I could be, and I got myself to this point. I'm proud of the way I played. I'm proud of the way I represented myself and my communities. And then I was going to end it off with the big jury. I ask you tonight, let's make history. Correct. Let's make history. Let's crowned the first POC queer winner, not in Big Brother Canada history, but in North American Big Brother Canada history, and let me proudly represent for our season. That was the pitch.
You definitely did. I do want to give you credit real quick. You know, even though you may not have won competitions, you came close. So don't let that slip your resume, because you were close and the competitions were hard. I was out of breath sitting at home. I was like,
y'all
what?
see me on that slot. They really had my ass sliding up and down this backyard. I said, Lord Jesus, if I, there was one point I was there with the cup on my chest, like, help me. My underwear was down. They were down.
Well, my last question for you.
Yeah.
You mentioned it, but you've been applying since season 1.
Yep.
And a lot of super fans, just like you, or fans, or whoever at home, wants to be on the show and has been applying and applying and applying. What words of wisdom can you provide? Because you're at it, and here you are, final 3, okay?
First of all, don't y'all ever give up. Don't you ever give up, because I almost quit time after time after time again. And when I say I've been applying for 11 years, I don't mean, I got the call, made it a few rounds, got cut. Yeah. I did not hear a call back one time. And this year, you know, and it's, again, my journey, my coming out journey, I was never authentically myself. And I know y'all hate this, because I was that person on that side of the camera saying, I hate when they say, be yourself. But you need to really put out that video and be authentically 100% yourself and tell them what you're going to bring to the show. And that's what I did. I told them what I represented. I told them who I was, and I showed it to them in the way that I spoke and in the fact that I was such a fan of the game and how I spoke about the game. So if you want it, you can do it. I never thought this would ever actually happen for me. It was 11 years. Hope and Renee were 13 and 12 when I was applying to be on this show. I'm the old dog. I came in here and I was like, oh, child, not me, the whole father figure. Absolutely not.
Well, honestly, your journey has been amazing. Thank you so much. You repped. Social threat of the season. They said it themselves, okay? Watch back the tapes, y'all. Yep. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you.
No worries. Thank you.
Cool. Thank you so much. We're just going to take a quick picture for thumbnail.